So Kaye has come in for the keynote. We're very excited. So Kaye's from the General Manager from the ecosystem. We're very excited that she's here today to share lots of secrets with us. So for those of you who came along to our MeetUp session about 2 years ago when we had Rod Drury speak, after his session, the PR person ran around the room saying, delete everything, delete everything. He wasn't supposed to tell you that. So we would like to be able to delete everything after your talk, Kaye.
No pressure. Thanks, Heather. I'm just going to come over here. I've been at the marketplace lunch, hey? I've been at the marketplace lunch, which is why I look fancy. I think I look fancy anyway. So, hey everyone. Alright, so I am Kaye and I'm the GM of Partner Experience for Xero's global ecosystem. And so what that means is that my job is how do we attract more apps into the ecosystem, and how do we also then make sure that more people are using it, so advisors feel confident around recommending apps and also more small businesses are using them. So the mission of our team is to build the best ecosystem platform in the world. But being a platform is about the flywheel. And so when we talk about those apps, when I joined 2.5 years ago, we had 500 apps, and today we've got 800. And our goal is to get to 1,000. And I know that sometimes people look at it and they go, oh my God, you've got so many apps, and that's actually a little bit freaky, and it feels overwhelming. But it's something that I am really proud of, because the thing is, you don't know who's going to be the next receipt bank, or the next HubDoc who we acquired earlier this year. And so it's good to have options. The other thing that I tell people is that if I look at the apps that I use on my phone, I travel quite a lot, so I've got the New Zealand app, I use Booking.com, whereas for some of you being Australians, you might use Qantas app, or you might use Virgin app, and so it's important to be able to have those choices. But that comes back to, well, how do we make it easy for you to be able to find the right apps? And so what my team's been responsible for over the last year has been a bunch of work around the app playbooks. Have any of you guys seen the app playbooks or in the app playbooks? Yeah. So the app playbooks, we've been doing the app badges, so we've got these app advisory courses. We come to lots of events and we talk about app advisory. We've got 2 different sessions tomorrow. I'm doing one of them, which is kind of a 101 on apps, and then we've also got some more 201, which is how do you start monetizing app advisory. And we've also been working around our marketplace. And so we re-platformed our marketplace earlier this year, which was really just about building foundations to be able to do more cool stuff with it. Because if you looked at our marketplace 6 months ago, to be honest, it was pretty shit. And you couldn't find any apps, and it just wasn't a really good experience. And so we've taken it back to basics and gone, okay, if we want an experience which is like the App Store with Apple, what are the things that we need to be able to do? And so, yeah, we've rebuilt the marketplace. Now we do have an announcement about the marketplace at Xerocon, which I'm not going to ruin the surprise, sorry Kevin. But what we're trying to do is, those app playbooks, like when we launched those, we did it because we thought that there was an opportunity for you guys to get more knowledge about apps and how to do app advisory. And so we thought, you know what, we're just going to put these down on paper, we're going to create these booklets, and we'll just see if they're popular or not. And what we found is that they were popular. We've had nearly 20,000 downloads in the last year. And so we know that advisors want them, and we know that our apps value them. But now we're trying to think, okay, well, how do we bring that experience into the marketplace and make it so that it's a seamless experience all straight from the marketplace. So if you're around at Xerocon tomorrow, go and listen to the product keynote and you'll find more about that. So the other things that we're thinking about, and I didn't bring any slides because I just want to talk to you about all the things that we're thinking about at the moment. And so the strategy is around how do we get to 1,000 apps and we make it easier for people to use apps, but also starting to think about where are the areas in our marketplace which are really oversubscribed, and then where are the areas in our marketplace which we need probably more apps in, and how do we start to address that? And so we're trying to get a little bit more strategic around looking at the marketplace and going, okay, well, we've got a shed load of reporting apps, and that's a good thing, because to be honest, reporting apps often give the best insights into a business and help make the best decisions. So how do we make it with this new marketplace, with better search and all that kind of features, how do we make it so that you can tell the differences between those reporting apps? But then also, where are the gaps in our marketplace where you can't find enough apps to satisfy need? And so an example of that is CRM. There's not actually that many CRM apps. I just did the Xero Developer Roadshow, and one of the questions I got asked was, what's the next big thing in the ecosystem? And I was like, someone build a great CRM app and get that in there. So we're starting to get more strategic about how we do that. As part of that, Later on this year, we want to launch a Accelerator. I like to chuck add into anything I can, happy holidays, happy everything. So anyway, we're going to launch an Accelerator, and what we used to do is we used to do this hackathon, and it was like also a bit shit. But that's the thing, is you learn from these things though, right? You do them once, you put them out in the market, you see what they're like, and you're like, oh, that's great, we'll keep going with that, we're going to learn from that. And so we did this hackathon, and it was a 3-month virtual hackathon, and it was global. And like, if any of you know the answer, how do you keep developers motivated for 3 months? Like, let me know. But anyway, so what we thought we'd do is we want to launch an Accelerator, and basically what that enables us to do is to target different regions. So for example, in Asia, we've got about 20 apps that are domiciled around Singapore, 15 of those are payroll apps. So what if we ran an Accelerator and we said, okay, this is targeted for Asia, but not payroll apps. And then, we could start to attract more people into our marketplace, solving a need there. Or South Africa, that's another emerging region for us. How do we find them that can solve there? Or we could go back to those holes in the marketplace that I talked about and do it that way. The other cool thing about doing that is, I think a core part of Xero is that we can't build everything ourselves, right? And so how do we partner with apps to help fill some of those spaces for us? And we see that with some of the apps today, but you look at where the future could go. So for example, in Latin America, you can't just send out an invoice and get it paid. If you send out the invoice, it's got to go via the local council and they stamp it, and then it goes to the customer and then they pay it. And they do that so that you avoid corruption. Or people paying under the table, I guess. And so for us, it's starting to look at, okay, well, is there someone that we can partner with that can build that for us? Because if we build that, we're building it for one location or one region. And so if we're looking at that scalability and that repeatability, who can build that for us? And there's other things like that we're doing. So I think apps are core to what we're doing and apps are core to our strategy. Some other things that we're doing, so when we talk about that flywheel and that sort of scale of having 1,000 apps, we really have to overhaul, I guess, the process for how we create that beautiful partner experience that my team's responsible for. And so we break that into 2 parts. There's pre-certification, so that's from when someone wants to become an app to when they get certified and they get to go into our marketplace. And then there's post-certification, so what's the life cycle once an app's certified. And I think something that's becoming more and more common is trying to solve or use technology to prevent people being able to do bad things, and also to automate. We always talk about automating those low value tasks so that you free people up in order to be able to focus on high value. And we have developer evangelists, and I think it's something that's really unique to Xero, where every app that comes into our marketplace gets eyeballed by a developer evangelist. And we're really lucky that our DAs are technical, but they're also commercial, and they're also charismatic, and those are kind of like unicorns to find. And then what we end up doing is we say, okay, cool, can you certify these apps? And you've got to copy and paste this text from this thing in Confluence, and you need to put it into this email, and you just need to do all these crap tasks, to be honest. And so what we're trying to do is think about, well, how do we use technology to put some guardrails in so that the DEs are just focusing on the really high value stuff? And so that might be things like anyone can access your APIs, they can today. At the moment though, as soon as you want to have more than, I think, 5 customers, you need to become certified. Well, what if we use technology to limit that to 10 or 15 or 20? And then you only need to get certified and go on the marketplace if you want to have more than that. Or the ATO is about to announce more security requirements for people that hold taxpayer data. And so again, how can we solve that using technology? And so they're about to bring out, there's going to be an advanced security questionnaire that you need to do if you've got more than 1,000 connections with Australian taxpayers. So what if we use that technology to limit people to 950 connections, and then when they get to 950, we can send them an email and go, hey, you're getting up to 1,000, you're going to need to fill out this form. And so that's the stuff that we're thinking about pre-certification. And then post-certification, we've got this app partner program, and we're thinking about, okay, well, we launched that about 2 years ago. It was supposed to be a 6-month MVP, but like everyone, life gets busy. And so now we're looking at it again, and we're going, how do we make this better? How do we make it better so that we're incentivising the right behaviour from our app partners, and that we're also doing it in a way that incentivises the right behaviour from Xero as well. Back when I joined 2.5 years ago, I think there was a lot of people that just didn't really understand the ecosystem, and they didn't really understand the value of apps. And going back to what I said earlier, it's the fact that we don't want to build everything and we're not going to build it all well. And so we need those apps, and it solves problems for you by being able to find the right apps as well. And so making sure that we incentivise the right behaviours from Xero to appreciate that our app partners are important, the ecosystem is important, and if you're coming to Xerocon, you know, you walk into that exhibitor hall, and I swear to God, if the apps weren't there, it'd be quite a different experience from what it's going to be tomorrow and the next day, which is going to be pretty exciting. Going back to that, we can't do everything ourselves. Another thing I want to do over the next year is, so we want to introduce a global cloud integrators program. How many of you are cloud integrators at the moment? A few of you. So you might have seen that we launched one back in the UK a few months back, and the problem with being a global company and global social media and things is you can't just do something in one region and no one else notices. I think you said on LinkedIn together where you were like, oh, where's my badge? Yeah, and so we have tried, like the different regions have tried different cloud integrator programs, but again, for me being in that global role and sitting back and looking across sort of everywhere, I'm like, okay, well we need to do this globally, we need to figure it out, because you might want to work in different regions as well, I know you travel a lot. And so that's something we're going to do. So the plan is new app partner program and the onboarding process. Then we want to do a global cloud integrator program and have global badging and have that all global. The Accelerator is the fourth one. And then the fifth one after that is looking at how do we, I have to look at my notes because I literally just went out of my head. Global cloud integrator, Accelerator, ambassador program. And so what this is going, so Xero Developer Roadshow. How many of you guys just saw us do the Xero Developer Roadshow on social media? So what we do is we go out and we because we want to track these apps, we go and we tell the message about Xero. But why does it have to be us? Like, why do I have to sit on a plane for 4 days to spend 4 days on the ground up in the Northern Hemisphere? And we fly economy everywhere, by the way, so really sucked. But I look at other people, so I look at AWS and I look at Microsoft, and they have these ambassador programs, and that's where they partner, you know, with the Heathers of the world and whoever else, and they go, we don't actually need to deliver the message, we'll create the content. Microsoft just pay for Subway, we might try and do something a little bit better than that. But we just give you the content to deliver, and then you can go out and do it. And so again, it comes back to Xero doesn't need to do everything, we can't do this all ourselves. Whether you're an app partner or an advisor or a cloud integrator, it's about creating that community together. And so doing a global ambassador program where we have people that can take the message for us and we'll help support it. And then the last thing that I'm thinking about on my team, so that's kind of all the stuff that we're going to do over next year. We started with 4 people, by the way, 2 years ago, and we're up to about 40 now, so we've been a pretty lean team over that time. But so the next thing that we're doing, we've got Mike over there. Hey, Mike. So 98% of the apps that we have that integrate into Xero built to us, and that's cool, we really appreciate it, thank you if you're an app that's built to us. But there are some apps that our partners use, our advisors use, or that our customers use that don't build to us, and it might be because they're way bigger than us, and they're like, why would we build to you? You're just a fly, and we're like, oh, but we're Xero, and they're like, whatever. Or it might be that they're a similar size to us, where they just don't have engineering resources, or their roadmap's full, or whatever that might be. And so, about a year ago, we wanted to start an experiment. We always start these experiments. This has been a good one, not shit, don't worry, Mike. And so what we've decided to do is we spun up an engineering pod. Normally a pod's 6 people, this one's 1.5. And what we wanted to do was start looking at what are the apps that our customers are using, whether it's an advisor or an SMB, that aren't integrated into Xero, and can we start building those integrations? But if you've heard me say it already, repeatable and scalable, that's what we're all about. How do we do this in a repeatable and scalable way? And so the last thing that we've been doing over the last year is we built what we call our outbound platform. And effectively, we're building components that can integrate to businesses that are repeatable and reusable. And so the first one that we built was a contact sync, and that was being able to sync between Xero and, you know, ideally CRM type systems. And so last December we launched MailChimp integration. We didn't tell anyone, we just chucked it in our app marketplace. And it's free, but you're limited to being on a premium plan if you want to do it, because obviously, you know, we need to recoup some value from investing in this. And so we did that, and with that contact sync component that we built, we launched it with MailChimp, that was cool, and finally started talking about it, thinking about February, March. And then we looked around and we went, okay, well, what other businesses can we potentially use the same component for, because we want repeatability and scalability. And so we launched HubSpot, and we're at HubSpot Pro, shall we say. And so we launched it there, that was cool. And now we're looking at, okay, well, what's the next ones and the next ones? And this is something that we're going to officially launch at Xerocon London in November. But the third one, which I know Keith's excited about, can I tell him what? Is, so the next one that we're about to launch, this one is secret. Just telling my room full of 150 friends. So we're about to do Google contact sync. And then we're looking at, okay, well, what are the other things we can sync to? Maybe it'll be a Microsoft sync or whatever else. And so effectively that's how we're trying to do this in a smart way with our pod of 1.5, which is about to be a pod of 6, because the first year we proved it was successful and now we've got some investment in it. And so after we do contact syncing, we'll then build another component, we'll look at the ones that we've built, can we go deeper, or maybe we'll just start with some new logos. And so our working title for this is Made by Xero. My background's not marketing or branding, but I quite like it, and I couldn't get an app in there, so yeah, so so basically I just want to talk to you today. I think I had 10 minutes, I don't know how I'm going, but
20 minutes.
Oh, was it?
No, you had 10 minutes.
Oh, I've been going 20. Oh, good, okay, well I'll wrap it up. What I wanted to talk to you about was 3 things. I want to talk about our strategy, so I've sort of talked to you a little bit about what we've been working on. Shit, that went like fast, yeah. I wanted to talk to you about technology and automation and some of the things that we're trying to do there to make things safer, more secure, but also automated. And then I just wanted to talk to you about some of the initiatives that we're doing over the next year, so it's me.
Thank you so much, Kaye. We're deeply grateful that you came along, made the time for us, and shared all of that information with us. And we look forward to seeing you over the next few days at Xerocon.